All right, hello everyone, and welcome back. Today I wanted to do readings a little bit differently. I have split the deck in two, and what I'm going to be doing is shuffling those decks in each of their own separate sections. But that way it's already a little bit divided. You can get a choice of what deck you'd like me to shuffle. These will be a bit more of an express reading today, just because I've been doing private readings for the whole afternoon and my voice is about to go, but hopefully I can make it through for at least two more readings for you guys. So we have the beautiful amethyst for us here. I'll give you a close-up of it if you haven't seen it before. It is dark Uruguayan amethyst, and then we have this beautiful cut of turquoise, so you can see that there. So go ahead, choose the pile that speaks to you, and I'll see you in that reading. All right, hello, Amethyst Pile. So we're going to get started with your reading here. Like I mentioned, it will be an express reading. So we're just going to get a few cards, see what the theme is with maybe an oracle card or two, and we'll go from there. If you do want a more detailed reading, I do offer personal readings on Etsy, and if you want lower rates, I do offer them on Patreon as well. So you can take a look in the description. So I think we've pulled everything that we need. That feels quite good, actually. So let's take a look here. One of my favorite cards, we have the 9 of coins. Then we have the 6 of cups, strength. Oh, you're getting all the good cards. Hierophant, the 2 of cups, and the 3 of wands. Okay. So a simple reading, but in the best way possible. What do I see here for you? It's crazy, despite there being only two, despite there only being, 6 cards, I see 2 storylines brewing, which of course makes me want to pull more, but I have to limit myself today. There's a relationship in here, and there's a relationship that it's either coming back, like it's an ex, or it's a friend from childhood, and it's feeling like it might be coming back and feeling like it's fresh or in its early stages again. That's what I'm getting from this. I mean, you have the 2 of cups, you have the 6 of cups. They're great cards for this sort of thing. And yeah, it just feels like that's growing and beginning to develop, and it might end up being something quite nice. I don't see any negativity associated with it because we have strength, we have the Hierophant, we have the 9 of coins. Frankly, I was thinking about seeing this as a reading a little bit separate into your own personal psyche, like developing your strength seems to be coming in. The Hierophant, you need to build a bit more of a routine in order to start getting your financial freedom or financial stability that you might be looking for, and that you are still early in that stage. The other thing I see, though, is that this is truly a relationship reading, because it's giving me the idea that by going back to your roots, right, the Hierophant, you can associate it with religious roots. Some people will go back to church. Some people will go back to their hometowns, or just their very old traditional, the traditions they grew up with, right? And again, you have the 6 of cups here, so those two would correlate well. The 2 of cups I always find to be more powerful than the Lover's card anyway for beginning a relationship. The 3 of wands is another great way to say, hey, this is growing, this is building. And strength tells me that this is going to have challenges, no doubt, but they're very rewarding challenges. They're challenges that build you up as a person. And that kind of tells me, again, coming back to the Hierophant, that you get this sort of reward of building a sense of either routine or tradition or a clear sense of self through this connection that you're having. It could also be a friendship. That's also a possibility. But it's either reconnecting with your partner in a new way, a partner like an ex, or again, a partner that comes from your childhood, like coming back to your hometown, or an old like classmate you knew in high school or something like that. So next thing we're going to do is pull from the Oracle and see if we get anything from the Threads of Fate. I'm gonna just hold on for a second. Okay. Oh, that was so immediate. That just felt right. And everything else is muddled together. Let's see. Ancestors. Okay, we're going back. Something from your past is coming in, but also it's so important that, like, whether it's something from your family that you grew up having a tradition, or going back to your hometown, or again, you could take this very literally and look into your ancestry and go and visit there if you haven't. There's something about going back to where you've been and finding the positives of that connect you to the opportunity to have really beautiful, deep, meaningful connections. And I really, really love that. Okay, so we have that. This is what we've got so far. Although I always do that because I assume we don't have enough space, but since it's an express reading, we actually have a lot of space. So I'm just going to pull from the Divine Feminine, because we can't not pull from the Divine Feminine, especially now that you have a relationship type of reading here. Lalita, you got Lalita, the red goddess. It says, playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. There's something here about going back to the childhood sense of self. It could be something like, for example, if there was always a birthday tradition that you would do with your family, or a park that you would visit with your best friends. There's something like that if you go to and you're able to reignite that childhood spark, that's going to open you up to a sense of stability. Now, I've said before that this 9 of Coins is a financial freedom card, but in this context, it kind of gives me a sense of just freedom, in the sense of knowing where you sit in your own stability and your own groundedness and where you are in the world. It's not necessarily financially, but it's having this sense of knowing in your physical space that you're very happy where you are. And that might not be where you're at right now, but that seems to be the result of this, is you end up in a place going back home or whatnot where you feel like, yes, this is right. This is the feeling I missed. This is the feeling I need. So anyhow, thank you very much for trusting me with your reading. If you want to support me, you can check the links down below, or subscribe or like and all of that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I get to do another reading for you again soon. Okay, bye. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your reading with the beautiful turquoise. This is one of my friend's favorite stones. Every time she comes over, she eyes it. And until I find something similar, I just don't have the heart to give it to her. I love giving things away to my friends, so... But this one has to be held with me until I am able to let it go. Anyhow, you've chosen an excellent stone, is what I'm telling you. So we're going to go ahead, and like I said, this will be an express reading, because my voice is just at the precipice of being gone. So we are going to see what pops out. And let me know what you think of this half and half deck idea, because I kind of like doing shuffling on the spot for people, but I also know that some people like when the cards are pre-selected before the video starts. I just find it a little more genuine, and nothing against anyone who does it the other way, but I find it a little more genuine to like shuffle in the moment. But anyhow, let's see. We have Judgment. We have Ace of Wands. Oh, hello. We have 7 of Wands. Okay, hello. Okay, apparently everything is love today. Oh my goodness, we have the High Priestess. And we have the 6 of Swords. Oh my god. It's crazy, you know. Even the other reading, I have to say, despite being small, was very, very powerful. And yours is as well, which is making me excited. Okay. The thing is it a love reading or is it not a love reading is what I'm getting from this. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So here's what I see. The only, if you want to call it, negative card is going to be your 6 of Swords. I personally think it's a positive card because it, as you can see in the photo, is all about leaving things behind, moving on. And I love moving on. I love change. So the Six of Swords, all about moving on, letting go, releasing, judgment. This, I think, would be related to whatever situation you're leaving behind. So I think you're going to get a little more clarity once you separate yourself from it. So if it's a past relationship, a friendship, a job, the more distance you get, the more you'll be able to accurately understand it. And I don't just say that because of the Judgment card. I also say that because we have, oh gosh, is this my favorite card in the deck? It's certainly one of them. The High Priestess. Many of you probably already know that this is a card all about understanding your higher self, understanding your deepest spiritual intuition, that connection to the energies, to God, whatever it is you believe, and really mastering that spiritual self, really separating yourself from ego and listening to the natural consciousness that comes into all of us. And I think the more that you distance yourself, the more that this will be able to manifest and allow you to heal. Then something new comes in, and I gotta be honest, it feels like a relationship. And I say that because yes, there is the Lovers here, and because I am getting the overall energy on my table today that this is all love that we're going to be dealing with. But yeah, I see that also because Seven of Wands can be a nice card to see when dealing with love, because, okay, so here's the thing. Ace of Wands for a new relationship can be a little bit crazy. It can be very fiery, very intense, because wands are all about fire. It can be very intense, very lively, and then fall apart, and then be chaotic, and then fall apart again. And, it can be that kind of toxic relationship, if you will, but it's very fiery, let's just say. But one of the more grounded cards out of the wands is the Seven of Wands. This is about putting the effort in, putting the hard work in, continuing to push through. And often in work, this is a card you will see of someone who is a very hard worker, someone who is pushing for that stability, who's using those fiery moments to move themselves forward in a positive, grounded way. And then you have your Lovers card, right? So it feels like you're building a relationship that, while it is fiery and passionate and romantic and sexy and all of that, there is real effort that could be put in. And as long as that's put in, you'll get the most traditional, beautiful, romantic fairy tale love as a result of it. So that's what we're getting. Now, we're still going to do oracle cards. We always do. My voice is going, so I apologize. But let's see, out of the oracle cards, that is pretty dang clear, but I'm still going to shuffle again because it didn't feel clear enough in my mind. But I can also be a picky reader, and the cards know that. So let's see if anybody... Oh, there's definitely a card tilting in there, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Okay. You get 2 cards. Lucky you. We have the Outlaw. Oh, it's a little bit spicy. Like you're doing something new. I almost feel like the ending of whatever you're leaving behind, you decide to change everything up. Like you decide, you know what, I'm going to be more of my true self, or I'm going to try out that lifestyle or that personality that I've always hidden. I'm just going to let it out and play with it. And the reason I also say this is because it kind of goes with like a new start, being a little more fiery, a little more creative, a little more passionate and fun. And then the Void. Oh, you have some work to do before you do this. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I laugh with love whenever I do laugh, because sometimes the cards are not very nice. They're very in your face, like, girl, you're empty right now. You need to fix this. That's kind of what it's saying to me, is like, you need to get it's not even that you are empty, it's that you need to get yourself to a state of empty to refill in a healthy way. That there's going to be kind of this period of like not knowing who you are, figuring it out, and then you'll be able to enter into this fun new path. But it's totally okay if it doesn't feel like you know where you're going right now. That just looks like it's part of the journey, and it doesn't seem abnormal at all. And then let's take a look at the lovely oracle deck of our Divine Feminine. Well, that's a very clear pull right there. Oh, that's so odd. I pulled this earlier for someone. White buffalo calf woman, the prophetess of the sacred way, my heart is a compass. The path of love is true abundance. Now, this is also a very important card because, as I was telling, I think this was in one of my private readings earlier, when you're dealing with a card like this, yes, it's very good to get into your nature. The outlaw, because it has the mountains and the nature and everything, it is starting to tell me that it might be time for you to explore a hobby in nature or spend more time out in nature in order to reset yourself. But it's also telling me you need to make a smart decision here. She is a spirit that can guide you in very good ways or punish you if you make choices that you know are wrong, if you go in the direction that you really shouldn't be going in. And I think that's something you need to consider. And I think that it kind of makes sense when we're talking about leaving things behind and making the right choice, right? You're talking about judgment. Are you making the right decisions here? I also see that because when we're dealing with something like an Ace of Wands, where it's fiery, it's fun, it's fresh, you can be a little silly, a little crazy. You need to not jump around too much in the sense of not looking at things from a grounded perspective. Now, hopefully, if you've done your proper high priestess work, your higher self work, your spirituality, that's not even an issue. We don't even have to question that. But I think she is a warning that if you don't make the right decision, you will not be able to enjoy the fruits of this beautiful experience. But you likely will be able to, so don't freak out. But just be aware. That's all I'm saying. Just be aware. So anyhow, if you enjoyed this, please let me know in the comments or feel free to subscribe and like. Like I mentioned, I do offer private readings in the links down below. But anyhow, thank you so much for trusting me with your reading, and I hope to see you in the next one.